You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So, if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your, stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Chris Gillis. Are you being strong or are you being a bitch? Welcome, ladies. We are here to mine the gold from the most boring episode in Bachelorette history. Put my husband right out to snooze land. Welcome, Chris.
Well, with that said, everybody, buckle up because we're going to make it fun.
Of course we will.
You ain't snoozing on us.
No, this was the highlight. I'm like, I can't wait to talk to Chris about this. So let's talk about, where to start. I think the thing that I want to talk about first is this, which was not on your list. So this is a surprise for you. Michelle seems like she's into everyone. Like, I feel like she's giving everyone googly eyes. She's, my, 78-year-old father-in-law was like, wow, she's kissing everyone. And I think they all kiss everyone. But I have said that I feel like Michelle is this person who wasn't popular or well-liked or felt like a strong sense of belonging when she was younger. She, her worthiness came from sports. We talked last week about, how she sees herself maybe. And so I feel like she's in this space where, she's really into everybody. And also because she has her guard up, I feel like she's also like, if anybody actually asks her a question or has a different opinion than her, her hackles go up and she's like, and then she wants to boot them. It's so weird. It's like, you're amazing. You're amazing. And she gets this look in her eye, I am empowered, and I'm all about women's empowerment, believe me. But there was 2 conversations she had where she made whatever it was about you don't respect me. It's so defensive. And I just wondered, what do you think about that? Like you're so into somebody, but then also you're just looking for them to screw you.
God, yeah, I see that as well. By the way, what was the word you said? Cackles?
Hackles. Your hackles? Is that a word?
What's a hackle? What's a hackle?
I'm Googling it. A hackle is I thought a hackle. A hackle. I just keep saying it and it sounds not like a word.
It sounds, yeah.
A hackle. Okay. A hackle. It's a word. It's it's the hairs along the back of a dog or other animal that rise when it's angry or alarmed.
Oh, wow.
It was the exact right word. Her hackle comes up.
I forget. Yeah, you're from a small farm in Iowa and used to milk the hackles on the cow. I don't know. Yes. Okay. Yes. Dude, she does that. And that's kind of scary. I noticed that, when she'll be, I guess, almost plays it safe, right? Because she's all about taking the dude's V cards, getting to be all vulnerable and start crying, and put them in a comfortable spots. But yeah, it seems like when everybody gets her, what could feel as a vulnerable backed into a corner, you're right, her hackles, they just they come right up and you're like, oh, okay, don't fuck with this lady. Don't piss her off. Slowly back away. And that's, to me, very unattractive because I'm a person who likes to go deep and explore the whys and why we're different. I love the differences. I think that's way more interesting than the commonalities in people. So I hear you.
Yeah, it's and it's her body language is so she leans back. She she bites her lips. She she
closes down, dude, or she does this thing where and that's even scarier. That's we need something to read. Oh no, she just left the building. Sweet Michelle just left the building. Now it's angry teacher or somebody who's gonna fucking just eviscerate you, and you're what is she thinking?
Yeah, she is scary. What's interesting too is, and I want to bring this up for our listeners too, because her and the last Bachelorette, Katie, like there's that outgoing persona that you have, right? Like you're really good at going on first and second dates.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even third dates, right? And you're like, and then when anything starts to get real, like he doesn't agree with you, he has a different opinion than you. And what we saw with Katie was when she was like, "You're dead to me," and she was just like totally like the ice queen. And I think those are different things that we do when we feel unsafe, right? We're like, we shut down, we disconnect, we like turn to ice, we're cold, like you never meant anything to me. Or we're like, everybody's out to hurt me, so I'm just looking to confirm the belief I have that you're probably going to hurt me anyway. Yeah. And I think that we don't realize that when women are out there trying to create intimacy and connection, that fun girl, woohoo, like, that only lasts so long because it's inevitable that you will get disappointed or someone will have a different opinion than you. Mm-hmm. And what I really, and I was kind of dissing on Martin last week, but what I liked about what happened was, just for those of you who don't watch the show, like, basically, he said something about like, are you high maintenance? She was like, what does high maintenance mean to you? And then he said, well, it means that like you expect a guy to do everything for you. And I was sort of like, what do you mean by that exactly? Which is what she should have said.
Talked about that.
Yeah. Then she said, you didn't answer my question. He said, yes, I did. And I was proud of Martin for saying like, no, actually I did. And this is what I said. And I'm pretty sure he exactly repeated himself. And she made that mean. And this is what's really interesting, ladies. So you need to really focus on this. Because of our beliefs, we interpret what someone says from the lens with which we have been like hurt or we're trying to guard against. So she interprets that as, if I have needs, you're not going to meet my needs. And because Michelle's story is, nobody gives me what I put out. Like, I don't have reciprocal. So she is definitely on the lookout to make sure that somebody will always be there for her. Because she's in a binary place of like, like, I was screwed and I was really hurt. And she told the story, which sounds really sad and terrible, about her last failed relationship. And so I was pretty proud of Martin for saying, this is who I am and I'm not going to back down. And he did do that. And so what did you think about that? Like, do you think that he didn't articulate himself well? Or do you think that he's just that dude that's like, I'm not going to like kiss your ass?
Dude, you said so many good things right there we could talk about. It is weird, Marni. I agree with you. I'm on board with you. I think that I think that he is trying to take the relationship. I mean, as far as progressing it and figuring out their differences, because everybody's gonna like, oh, we got so much in common, or both of our parents, this and this, or that's the easy part, I think. But it seems like that the relationship really gets started not on the first or second date, but on these dates where you're like, oh, okay, let's rub our brains together. Let's see how we can disagree and then come together and see each other's perspective. And that isn't love, like really just trying to understand, your partner. And I don't feel that she's fucking interested in doing that at all.
Yeah.
With any of these dudes, which is totally red flag. Like, as long as they're all lining up and I feel like, kissing her ass and apologizing because she didn't feel seen, like therefore it's her, their fault because she has a pattern not feeling seen and they didn't
exactly
play the games and everything with her. That's scary. Also, babe, this is again why ladies, Marnie's always saying, don't listen to your freaking friends, because we live in a little echo chamber. And sure enough, I went on a little online. Everyone agrees. Everyone thinks that Martin's like a douchebag and dangerous and, like toxic. Not everybody, obviously, but like those are like all the comments that are being. So people are disagreeing with you. And I also agree with you that it was cool. Yeah. Hey, he's got his opinion. And I didn't think he said anything incendiary or insulting or sexist, but other people who, like you just said, are viewing it through lenses, or Michelle's lens.
Well, he could be a douchebag. He might literally be a douchebag. I have no idea, right? Like, he could be like, yeah, bitch, like, if you think I'm gonna, like, he could be that guy. But what I like about it is he's like, this is who I am. And you ask me once, I'll say the same thing as I do on the third time, you know?
Yeah.
And so he's not, and this is what I think is really important, ladies, is that, and this is what dating is supposed to be, right? Like, she's collecting data about Martin. She had like a date with him. They had great chemistry. They kissed. She's a little, he like, you know, he's friends with someone she doesn't like. That's some data. Now they're talking about like expectations and what does that mean? And there's a little flag and you're like, that's some data. And so that's what dating is, right? Like you find out that someone maybe doesn't share the same values as you have. And that's okay. But what I really would like ladies to do is be the Martin, right? Because what I know that they do sometimes is they're like, oh shit, that hot guy doesn't like my answer. So I'm going to like backpedal and try and say what he wants to hear because I want him to like me. Where the better way is like, this is dating. So Martin's looking for somebody who vibes with his belief. She's looking for someone who vibes with her belief. This is part of dating. Have a conversation. Dive in. Like I love, like explore the differences without your defenses up and then be like, wow, well, that's really, we have different values about what relationships look like. We're not a match versus like, you know, whatever. And so but then what Martin did is then he goes back to his boys and he's doubting himself, you know, because, oh, did I say, but then he says in the little producer interview, but I don't really think I said anything wrong. I'm just saying what I believe. So regardless of who that guy is, what I think is a standout and what I want women to do is like when you're dating and you have a difference of opinion, don't try and pretzel yourself and change your answer or your belief just to get somebody to like you. Yeah. Because it's just not your person.
No, totally. I love that. And we sense the energy. Ladies, you gals generally kind of control the rhythm of the date. And she does not give those hey, I'm, you know, like blow my mind away with I'm open to different opinions and views. I really, like Marni says, I'm just here to collect data and have fun, and whatever you say, there's no wrong answer. Fuck no, she definitely has wrong answers. I feel like they're written in her head, and she's just waiting, like, and she baited him, babe. She like baited him.
She did
again, and she set him up. It's like, no, and then she repeated what he said, which wasn't what he said. Oh, so you're saying this and this. That's not what he said, but she kept coming after until she got the wrong answer. So ladies, it's like be mindful, yes, if you can, to achieve what Marni's talking about, and to sit there and just let's just have a fun getting no expectations. You don't know if you're going to marry this guy or date him or never see him again, or, you know, absolutely just be curious and like, yeah, like she doesn't have that, oh really, that's interesting. No, well, yeah, how'd you come to that conclusion? Because by the way, he was talking about how he was trying to be vulnerable, trying to get his V card and start crying so she'll like him by talking about his ex-girl, you know, all the women, you know, and he's trying to compliment her, saying that she's not high maintenance, and the women in Miami, shocker, they have a lot more high maintenance and putting on makeup. Although this is, you know, on this series, fucking Michelle is dressed to the nine, and she is high maintenance, I'm sure, coming out there. But he's like trying to say, you know, you're down to he tries to connect with her, it fails. And then she puts off like that fucking mean, that scary energy, that teacher vibe that, you know, you're wrong, you're a bad boy on the test. Golly, that's not that's not a way to start a relationship off, to say basically, hey, this is a danger zone called disagreeing with me. You cross at your own risk.
Yeah, she did that, and she did that also. So this is, and then now again, none of these guys are like me or her person. Our friend Chris in the show, who is sort of like a little entitled and like, Chris S., you know, like, I did this thing and therefore you should spend time with me, whatever. But again, what I really want to point out is that he comes and he says, I felt really hurt and disappointed that and this pissed me off, I got to tell you. Because her whole thing was like, on this group date, like, people ignored me. No one reached out to me. People didn't talk to me. You weren't inclusive. And Chris was like, you know, we're on a group date and you didn't make any effort to like see me, basically, right? In her words, right? You didn't reach out to me. You didn't say how you're doing. And I felt like kind of insignificant, and that didn't feel good. And then she got defensive and turned it into like, you know, her story. Again, she is constantly looking for ways to be defensive, to make herself feel okay to say goodbye to somebody. Whereas she could have just said, wow, oh my God, yeah, well, and they did she said, well, when you walked in, you looked like you were unhappy, like you didn't want to be there. And he said, yeah, well, I felt this way. And then, I had to wear a fucking donkey outfit, whatever it was. I felt like, whatever. And so like it could have been a conversation, but what I thought was going to happen was he was going to be like, and so for that reason, I'm out. Like, you're not treating me well. And instead she said, we're done. But I really wish that he would have just been like, and he said, you're saying you want people to be honest and have integrity and all these sorts of things. And, you want to be seen. And then you did that to me. And instead of like apologizing or even trying to see his point of view, she just was like, no, you're wrong. Nope. Because again, she is like, got that little scorecard. And so if you call her out or you say like, this hurt my feelings, that means you're not in support of her. And her story is, if you call me out, you won't be my partner.
Totally. I hear you. What advice? It seems like she's a gal who needs to be in control. And when she doesn't, or something, she feels threatened, like she's not, she freaks out or she's mean or whatever. So what the listeners out there, and I'm sure there's a couple of you girls are out there who are like, yeah, that's me. I like being in control and I'll bite people's heads off or freak out or assume the worst things and make it comfortable. What are some takeaways, we can do when you're feeling that way?
Well, I think the thing to do is to, number one, and this, I have to do this in my own life, which is like, when you're feeling those feelings, is to like take a breath and like just be aware that you're having a feeling in your body and like welcome it in and be like, okay, like I'm feeling super triggered right now. This is really hard for me. Now, granted, this is hard for anyone. It's hard for me. And it's also doable. And it's like, oh, okay, so let it pass, right? Like let it soften it, allow it, get my brain working again, and then ask a question, right? Which is really hard. And I can do it like one time, maybe two times, but if I still feel like I'm frustrated or I'm not getting what I need or someone's not understanding me, then I'm more like, never mind. Like, it's hard for me. My reaction is like, I'm going to like walk out the door and take a breather, which I'm working on. But I think that it's being aware of the feeling that it's bringing up in your body. Now, when we studied a big body of work through the Gottman Institute, what they recommend is that you just sort of call it. You're like, we're having disagreement, and we're like, our heart rates are up. We're not in our highest selves. Let's take a break. And you call it for a certain time frame, not longer than 24 hours. And you give yourself some time to have a healthy distraction, not thinking or ruminating about the problem, but to just like go do something else, like go watch a funny YouTube video, go call a friend, answer an email, whatever it is, and then come back to it. And I've used that as well. And that's super, super helpful. And I think it's really just about remembering that that's the intention and putting a focus on it. Because your brain, your lizard brain comes in, your monkey brain, whatever you want to refer to, the amygdala, that thing's like, I'm not safe. So it's hard.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if that's like the best advice ever, but.
No, that's solid. And by the way, I love that you are vulnerable enough to say, "Yep, I also I'm a controller, and you're a bad bitch. You've got shit in charge." And yeah, I've seen you, things are going their way, and I've seen you get quiet. I'm like, okay,
my hackles are going at.
No, I'm gonna go over here real quietly. And then you tend to figure it out. So no, that's great. That's really good advice. What about?
Yeah, go ahead.
What about on the we don't really we talked about it, but is there like you're the master at these stages and these cool different words? Are there like different vernacular for like the different stages of dating, or have you created anything clever? Like you know what I mean? Because it seems like like as these are progressing, I felt like Martin, for example, he reached another stage of something, but sometimes people, it seems like a lot of us, they get stuck in keeping it in that first or second gear or whatever, and never really getting it into where the relationship, I don't know, I think kind of begins with the sharing of different perspectives, not necessarily making them opposing perspectives, but figuring out how people are different and go, you know what? I'm not like that, but maybe I really do. You know what? I admire that about that person, and I'd like more of that in my life.
Yeah, well, I think like in the beginning, people are really just trying to find out like how compatible are we?
Yeah.
And one thing that I always say is like getting to compatibility is actually the easiest part. Getting back to compatibility is the true test of a healthy relationship. Because and the mistake that people make is they're only in the lens of like, do we have fun? Do we have chemistry? Do we have fun? Do we have chemistry? Do we have fun? Do we have chemistry? And then it's like, how do we get back to compatibility? And that is what derailed Katie and Greg Grippo, right? That is what derails most people in relationships, is that they see a misfire as a red flag and a trap, and they can bail. Rather than see if this is actually a deal breaker that they have a difference on, or if this is something on the wish list and it's something that you want to learn how to handle. And I think what's really interesting is, and I'll share another story from my own situation, is when I first met Jeremy, like I had these non-negotiables, right? And one of them was around like, being able, there was around finances, right? Okay. And I wanted somebody who had a certain level of not making a certain amount of money, but able to be responsible with money, or have a little bit of a, what's the right word? They're taking ownership, okay? And so here's what's interesting is because in my marriage to my first husband, he was super irresponsible. He made a lot of money, but he was super irresponsible with it, right? Like he spent it like it was, as my mom used to say, it was growing on trees. And that made me feel really unsafe. And ultimately, so then when I got divorced, I was like, wow, that's never going to happen to me, right? I need to really have financial security and financial responsibility. And then plus I have a whole bunch of other like money stories from the way I was raised and all the ancestors, right? So what was interesting is that when we were dating and I would learn something about how he handled money. Like I was like, that's not cool, right? Like that's not what I'm going for. The difference was that it was something that we could have conversations about and something that he himself wanted to grow into, not because I wanted him to, but because he really wanted to. And so we were able to like have these conversations, right, about these things that were differences and really figure out like, are we on the same page? And then he took responsibility and ownership for growing in that area to where now he manages and is responsible for most of that stuff. Right? Like the managing of it, the understanding of it, the paying the bills, the taking care of like lots of different things. And so the reason I'm bringing that up is because I think ladies get so caught up in like, this is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And if there's one little gap, then you're out. No way. I'm not fucking doing that. Right. And it doesn't mean, but we've had to get back to compatibility around it a lot of times. And then it just became not an issue. Right. I don't know.
I love it. You know what? You say so many good things today. I think it is, I love what you said and what we're talking about differently with Michelle's. You said that when there were differences that arose, you had conversations and you saw it as opportunities for conversations. Whereas what I think the takeaway from this show is that ladies out there, and I think Michelle does it, she sees them as opportunities for arguments.
Yes.
And it's so much where it starts. I think the reason you're able to have it, Marni, is because you are you even said these are passed down ideas, beliefs that have been passed down to me, but you're able to hold them. I can tell when you're speaking about them, hold them at arm's length, look at them and go, oh yeah, this is passed down to me. And you may or may not put it on, but I don't feel like you say this is and you're not wrapped up still in the story, like, oh yeah, my dad taught me this and this and this, and you're very conscious of what it is, and you don't seem to be in the throes of it. Whereas Michelle, even from that gnarly breakup she has, and I could just get the sense again, guarantee. I mean, almost everyone on the show is an awesome person, but they say, hurt people say hurt things, and hurt people hurt people, and I can tell that she is, like, still affected. She doesn't want to be the mean girl or the girl who shuts down.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. But
nobody
it scares her. It freaks her out. And like you were saying a second ago, when I asked you about, hey, ladies, what do you do when you feel controlled? You said, I stop and I feel what I'm feeling, and I like acknowledge it. And it said, I think, Michelle goes, something bubbles up, and she pushes it down. She gets tougher and meaner, angrier than what she's feeling, pushes it down, and then boom, she doesn't feel. And then all of a sudden, these weird feelings are coming out, and Martin's confused. He's like, wait, what? I say something wrong, and second guessing himself. So that
you said it in our little conversation last night. You said, like, she doesn't want to be challenged, and then Dr. Emily said, she so when she feels that way, and Dr. Emily said she dominates them, right? So then she's like, wham, and then because of the nature of this show, especially, most of the guys are like, okay, never mind, which is what's the right answer, which is what they did last week when they went and they're like, I'm sorry. You're right. I don't know. Where were they? Who knows? But I think it's a really interesting thing is that our patterns are going to be there. And the thing is the challenge is to be aware of them and not let the fears from our past hurts get in the driver's seat of how we're navigating the dating process. Mm-hmm. And from what I can tell with Michelle is she is 100% looking for the antidote to her terrible last relationship.
Totally.
She is trying to fix it with this person.
Not only that, but I also think you touched on it a second ago. I also think that, like, some of your gals who I've met, they've been without and been so strong and been so disciplined for so long. They go, I'm not going to settle. And Michelle's thing, which I think is problematic, and you touch on it maybe, is that she's like, I'm not going to settle till I find a guy who loves me like the way my dad loves my mom. That's the relationship I want.
Well, yeah. And also you're like, well, what does that even mean? And also, does she even know? Like, sure. Our mutual friend, Matt Boggs, went around and wrote a book called Project Everlasting. And he interviewed people who'd been married for like 40 years plus. Right. And they had a lot of secrets to being married a long time. And I don't think one person in that book was like, yes, we never argued. We were 100% in agreement with every single thing. Right. Like, no.
I want to kill her so bad. I hide all the knives. And some of them were like, wow, that's blatantly. It was awesome because old people are freaking best because they're so transparent. They don't give a fuck what you think about them. But there were some savage things like, oh, really? You look so sweet. And it's like, no, I want to destroy her. She wants to kill me. And but they don't. Right.
Because they learn how to get back to compatibility. And so that is like the thing for Michelle that is like something. So here's my prediction. It's a prediction. She's going to end up with some dude. I will be shocked if they make it past 6 months because there will be some conflict. Like, when are we moving to Minnesota? Being the number one. Like, oh yeah, let's spend our first winter in Minnesota. No going on Lake Minnetonka then. No. Right. But like, whatever it is, like, I just don't think she will have the skills to navigate through that unless she actually then starts understanding what's going on for her and works through it with that person. But otherwise, any conflict, no, not going to happen. I also predict that the deeper in this thing goes, the more she's going to start to be cray because she's going to feel more out of control. The stakes get higher. She can't be sure this guy's not going to screw her over because she never will for the rest of her life. So I think that more she likes someone, the closer we get to the end, the more she's going to have fear.
I'll double down. I agree with you. Whatever bet you're betting, I'll double and double because what I saw, and I'm big on, I think it's an awesome gift to be able to meet a gal or girl's friends that you're dating. And I think her friends, again, they're on screen for 5 minutes, but I think they seem like two very so Minnesota's got a saying called Minnesota nice. They are the epitome of Minnesota nice and agreeableness, and I think that's why I also agree with you that whoever she chooses, when they're not agreeable, I think there's a reason that's why her friends are that certain way and so kind. I think that some guy's going to disagree about if we should use, like Dr. Emily and I think dishwashing pods are a waste of money, but I say the old fashioned powder detergent. We fight. I think that's gonna something stupid like that will cause them to go off the rail and they'll leave because they want Tide Pods and he won't buy them.
Use the pods, dude. Use the pods. Use the pods. Oh my God, Chris Gillis.
These are the hills.
I know exactly. You're like, and this morning we fought, but that's really a relationship, honestly. So
that's when it begins. Right?
It is.
Powder.
Our friend Craig say like the beginning of the end of his marriage was like when she started criticizing him about the way he just loaded the dishwasher.
Oh shit!
And Jeremy's like, I know Marni totally loads the dishwasher wrong, and I'm like, what? Is there like a tablet in the sky with the right way? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing about this, which is, and I don't know anything about it, so I'm just going to ask you. You said that we should learn how to spot our Leroy. I don't even remember. I think Leroy was the guy with glasses, and you said Leroy was invisible. I don't even know how he made it this far, but the internet loves him. Why, Chris, does the internet love Leroy? And what can we learn about that?
We can learn. So Leroy, I think the internet loves him because he doesn't say anything to piss off all the angry gals who are living vicariously through Michelle. He just seems nice, and he's so professional and put together and intelligent, appearing at least. He doesn't cause any problems. He just kind of blends in there, and I don't know if that's what girls really want. They want a lot of different things. But then look, when Martin speaks up, they don't like that so much. So, but I do see there are a lot of Leroys out there, right? They're the nice guys, but you just can't get him to speak up. And sure, I have no idea how he made it as far as he did, but he must have, been doing something to hang out as,
to make it to the top 12 or whatever. But but I think so. You know what? Leroy is like becomes that guy on Paradise. No, Leroy will become your Kenny. Oh. Right? Like Kenny got like 30 seconds of airtime, right? And then he goes on Paradise and you're like, I like Leroy. He's so cool. There's so many people that we like to watch on Paradise because they were just like invisible during the season, and then we get to really know who they are. And so we'll watch. Leroy is one to watch.
You think he got edited out, or what the hell? How was he visually? They'd like scan right by him, and he didn't say a fucking word. Here's
what's interesting is what happens is like a guy so this is just a show thing. I think I'm making it up because I'm not a producer, but there was that guy, and now I can't even remember his name. Who was the hunky blonde dude that always was like the narrator? That was on Katie's season maybe, and then he was on Paradise. And he got the bromance with the other guy, and they moved to San Diego together.
Wait, James?
James, James.
Big James.
So James made it really far, and I honestly, but then they were always doing those interviews, and he'd be like, "Well, here's what I think, and so and so is going to think this, and this is what's going to happen." They like kept him around to be the narrator, and like James or this dude Leroy, like they didn't need a narrator yet, or he wasn't a good narrator, so he was out. Yeah. I think when those guys that have no chance, but they're still there, I think they use them because they're articulate, or they can use them somehow as producers. Because the two guys that got voted out last night, I was like, of course I don't even know who their name. I don't know who they are. So they're just there.
It's okay. Well, speaking of people who are very quiet, and then also very quiet is Joe, and much more talkative, more emotive is our buddy Nate. So we got on a scale of fucking Leroy just blends in the wallpaper. You have no idea he's even there. And then there's Joe, who you do have an idea there because he ignored her DMs and he's dreamy and says a little bit and opens up his vulnerability about his basketball. and then there's Nate. How do you have you ever, Marni, or what do you think about the gals who are like, yeah, I like it. He just doesn't say shit. He never talks. He never opens up. Is it like, nah, if he likes you, he's going to talk. He's going to speak up. He's going to go across the room and interrupt a dinner with Nate. Like, how do you know?
Not every guy is like that. I just, like my husband's definitely not going to be that guy.
Leroy? Is your husband a Leroy?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. He's not super extroverted, and that's okay. No. But what I liked about Joe, is I thought that was really genuine, him talking about his basketball injury and his identity. Yeah. And I thought that was a really awesome conversation. And I think she could totally get that. And I thought that was great. I haven't really seen any of that from Nate. I feel like they just want to bang.
Yeah.
And that's so far that, and they're like, I like you and you like me. And oh my God, I love this. And I've never felt this way. And oh my God, you're so cute. And oh, my friends like you. And oh my God, you're so cute. And so I don't know. I think I saw a little bit more depth from Quiet Joe versus Nate. I just like to say his name.
All right. Good enough.
So that's what I got. So ladies, whatever you do, I'm going to say it right now. Life check yourself. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes, and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.